Hello and welcome back again to the Stitchery Dorset. We're going to do our demonstration now on how to make our makeup bags. We're going to make the Oh Meow version, which has a lovely vibrant purple lining inside. I don't know if you can see that. And it has a nice YKK zip and also the two tabs at the side to make it easier to zip up and open. Right, let's get started. So I've already put my machine the zipper foot on the machine, so I'm going to grab one of the top layers of fabric and have it facing upwards. I'm going to put my zip facing down and then the lining fabric on top and just sandwich that zip in between the two layers of fabric and then sew that in place. And then I will open it all out and just finger press that down into place. And I'm going to top stitch along the side of the zip, about 1/4 inch in from the fold of the fabric on the zip. I'm now going to repeat that process on the other side and I'll see you in a few seconds. Right, that's the zip all sewn into place. We're now going to sew the tabs onto the sides. We just need one of the top layers. We'll fold the lining away and pop that under the machine. The tabs that we made before, fold them in half and about 1/4 inch down from the top stitching on the zip we position and sew the tabs. We do that on both sides in the same place. Just make sure those lining fabrics and everything else is out of the way and just sewing purely on that one top layer of fabric with the interfacing behind. Okay, now we can sew the bottom of the bag together and the lining of the bag together. So we're going to line up the two main fabric pieces at the bottom and then we're going to sew that about 1 centimetre in from the edge. We're going to do the same on the lining, but we're going to leave a gap in the middle to turn the bag through. So again, about 1 centimetre from the edge, but only go in about 2.5 inches from each side. Right, now we need to do the side seams of the bag. So we're not going to sew this end of the bag with the zipper pull. We're going to sew the other side. So we line up our fabrics at the bottom and then we just push that zip towards the lining fabric. And again, we're going to sew that 1 centimetre in from the side, and that will catch the tab as well, and it will hide the stitching that we've just put in for that into the side lining. Now you are going to be sewing over the zip here, so just manipulate and just go slowly over that. we're then going to just reinforce over where the zip is, because we're going to cut the zip off. So just about 1/4 inch away from your initial seam. I'm going to go backwards and forwards over that a couple of times just to hold it all in place nicely. And then we can cut that excess off, and be very careful not to cut into the stitching. So you've just cut away the excess. Right, we're now going to go to the other side of the bag, and the zipper now needs to be open. If you were to sew down the side, then you'd sew it with the bag shut and it would be ruined. So that's really important. Open the zipper right the way through as far as you can go. And then line up again on this side. And then we'll sew down through that side in exactly the same way as we did the previous one. So we can pause there for a moment and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so that's the main parts of the bag done. We've done the bottom, we've done the lining bottom, we've done the side seams completely, and we've trimmed off both ends of the zips. We now need to box out these corners, so I'll just show you quickly how to do one of those before we move on again. So open out those corners and open out the seam along the bottom and along the side seam of the bag, and match those two side seams, those two seams up in the center. Finger press them down, and then about 1 centimetre in from the bottom seam of the bag, and just stitch right the way across, and just go backwards and forwards over that seam just to reinforce it. So you can see that I've just sewn right the way across. Those seams are matched on the front and back and opened out, and then all you do is trim the excess fabric away, and that is one corner of the bag done. I'm now going to do the other 3 corners and come back to you.
And we go.
Right, I've boxed out the all the corners in exactly the same way as the first one. We're now ready to turn the bag inside out, or right way out. So just pull through gorgeous fabric. And push out all the corners. And then also where the zip goes. I'm just going to get my thumb in behind where that zip goes into the corner there, and just pop that corner out, making it nice and crisp. Right, so the last thing that we need to do is just sew that seam along the bottom of the lining. So this is the inside of the bag, and we just want to do a nice row of stitching really close to the edge all the way along. Trim off those little threads. And then I would give it a really good iron out these corners, and then once you've done that, tuck the lining inside, push it right up into the corners, Give it a good iron along the zip. Make sure it's all nicely. And then there you have your beautiful makeup bag. Thank you.